That was horrible.
So I thought something was sizzling on the grill for a moment there.
That's really good music. Do you ever just like, okay, so there's white noise, there's gray noise, there's brown noise, there's blue noise, there's frank noise.
And then there's sizzling
and then
noise.
there's sizzle noise. Okay, so I wear headphones when I work,
Yes.
right? Like, and sometimes I'll be cooking something and I'll have like my noise cancellation headphones in.
So you can't hear the sizzle?
And I can't hear this. Actually, it's incredibly dangerous to listen to noise cancellation in the kitchen. So forget I said that.
Don't try this trick at home.
If I know I'm alone. Anyways.
I only practice bad chef practices when I'm alone.
No, only when I'm alone. Anyway, so I'll be like cooking away, and then the sizzle won't happen, and it freaks me out. And I think the world is coming to an end.
It's a very disturbing thing when you were expecting a thing and you've always heard a thing, and then suddenly it's not there.
It's
just
not
the
there.
absence of that messes with you. It's like when you're biting into a soft and you feel a crunch.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, get
Like
crunch
that-
out of my
that
soft.
messes with you.
You can put soft into my crunch, but don't put crunch into my
Can you
soft.
feel a soft within a crunch? Can you be crunching into something? I mean, I guess that's all Oreos are, huh? It's a crunch then a soft.
Well, yeah, it's a soft in my crunch.
What about the Noreo? It's the opposite of that. It's the frosting on the outside and then the cookie in the middle of it.
Well, technically, sushi is just a Noreo because it's
What?
nori.
What?
It's nori.
No. Oh, I see.
And then it's
Okay.
wrapped around rice. and-
Okay, that's funny. That's
Hey, pick a card.
Pick a card. These are such pretty shiny cards in front of me. Derek, you got a really fun like magic deck here. Well, okay, I'm so nervous. Okay, this one,
Okay, show it to the class.
There's
I'll
no
plug my ears.
words.
You say what it is.
There's no words
say
on
what
it.
it is for the listeners at home.
It's this kind of twunk man with a bunch of branches
Okay,
around
put it back
him.
in the deck. We're doing a magic trick.
Here we go.
Okay.
Bye bye twunk. I'll miss
I'm
you.
gonna shuffle
the
the
twunk
deck.
with the twunk in the tree trunks.
Ready? I'm gonna shuffle the. I'm gonna shuffle the. What?
It's the twunk in the tree trunks.
You ready? You're gonna hear it.
Oh, here we go. That was terrible. That was awful. You can't just shuffle cards directly onto the microphone.
I was making a point.
Listener, you might not even get to hear that. That might not be like.
I might remove it.
That might be. It might be terrible.
This is your card.
Yes. Wait. How the hell? What? You literally shuffled your cards onto the microphone, dropped them all over the couch, and still had it. You son of a bitch. Did you guys know Derek was a lonely child and practiced like close-up magic for fun?
The secret is to not forget where your card is.
The secret is to remember what it is. The secret to good magic is to be a wizard. Thank you. You found my twunk in the tree trunk.
So you
what
did-
card is this, Derek?
You did the IX
Okay.
or the 9.
Which is 9. I'm so bad with Roman numerals, actually.
I don't know.
Which is...
Well, hold on.
Which is...
So I got a little tarot deck here. It's mine.
It's
so
very
no
pretty.
one else can use it.
He can't. He's not touching
Which
someone
is
else's tarot
the
deck.
rules
This is
of
his.
tarots. This is mine. I purchased
Rules
it
of
on
tarot.
Amazon for a D&D campaign, actually.
That was a really fun idea.
I did a D&D campaign where there was an entire boss mechanic about like flipping over tarot cards. It was super cool.
It was pretty neat. It was,
really
it was
original.
Like, it was like a fun take on like wild magic, you know, like they made it a lot more fun. Are we doing this again?
Yeah, but just because I can't find that card in the list of tarots that I'm looking at.
Let's try to pull one with a name on it, huh?
Yeah,
and
like pick.
this.
Did you get
Okay.
Death?
Okay.
What'd you get?
It's got a name on it. Do you want to do your shuffling trick?
No, it's stupid.
I got the emperor, got an old man up in a chair, got this silver fox with a crown chilling. He's got his little orb in his hand. He's pondering it ever so much. And what does that mean?
So the emperor means upright. It
Okay.
means I mean, well, okay, no, that's not what it means.
It means upright. If it was
Shut up.
upright.
Shut up. Shut up. You know what I mean.
You're-
It was upright
you're
when
a
you did.
magician.
Was it upside down or was it right side up?
It
when
was
you
right
drew
side up. It was right
Okay.
side up.
So you are full of authority, structure, control, and fatherhood.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a dad.
Okay, hold
All right,
this and draw one for me.
Now your turn. Okay, ready? Here you go. I'm not as good at fanning it out as you
This
because I
isn't-
didn't try
oh, that's a
magic.
number.
Nope. Try again. Do better.
That's a number.
What the? Derek.
Oh, I got the lovers. and
Look,
it was
upside
upside
down. All right, upside down love. It's right there. Upside down lovers.
Loss of balance, one-sidedness, and disharmony. Wait a minute.
So, I'm gonna be a daddy, and you're off balance.
What?
But that's okay.
Well.
I will father you, my child.
Oh man,
We
it keeps falling over.
We shall take care of you,
'Kay,
Derek.
listen,
whoa.
I understand that this isn't how you do tarot readings,
This
but
is definitely
we're just a couple
not how
guys
you
on a
do
podcast
tarot
with a deck of
readings.
cards.
We're two guys on a what's that podcast called?
That was
Horrible. That was terrible.
terrible.
That's hold on. That's an incredible idea for a
okay.
podcast. That's so much better than
Just like
horrible.
you do tarot readings for like guests every episode.
I guess so, yeah. But like,
it's kind of cool, a little intimate. I feel like a lot of people like treat tarot readings very, very spiritually.
yes.
I don't know. If
I mean, there are
spiritually is the right
podcasts
word,
that are
but,
like that, right? Like where it's basically like a therapy session and up in there. Just
Derek.
and I'm Isaac, and we're here for therapy today.
Oh,
To talk about my new child and Derek's imbalance. Terrible.
That hurt me.
That's such a good, like, that's something.
Yeah.
Nobody steal that. I'm not going to do anything with it, but like, don't take it.
Yeah, that was.
It probably already exists. Somewhere, some genius probably came up with that somewhere. Derek,
somebody somewhere
So hold on. So that was horrible. This is our podcast where we do our best
at reviewing the worst.
Derek is just throwing tarot cards around the room.
I'm trying to get one into Garfield. So Isaac,
Oh my god!
Isaac bought one of those Cinemark Garfield popcorn buckets.
So, folks, I was at the movie theater. I went to Cinemark. I went and saw. Actually, funny enough, so to kind of backtrack a little bit, Derek is still trying to throw cards into this
because the one that gets in there is Chris Pratt's.
This is going to be
tarot
so
reading.
fun to pick up.
52 pickup.
So while Derek's doing this, I went to go see. So the reason we're talking about Tarot so much, we actually sidetracked a bit because new movie in theaters, guys. Tarot 2024 was rated low enough for us to watch for the podcast. So
That's right. We said a different movie last week.
we said we were going to watch Hobgoblins, I think was the movie, and we still will. We'll get to that one, but we watched Tarot because we could catch it in theaters, and we had to see that opportunity, right? So it was actually my sister's birthday, and she wanted to go. She loves horror movies, so we went to go see Tarot in the theaters. I saw the Garfield popcorn bucket. It's got this cute little Garfield holding this like red and white striped bucket. Derek's getting kind of close with some of these.
I'm gonna get one of
You're
these.
running out of cards.
It's either the last card in the deck or the one that makes you. No, you can't
Okay,
try.
I can't try. It's fine.
These cards are everywhere.
Oh my
we need to like take a
this
picture
is
of
such
this.
a mess. So
Come on!
Oh my god. We went to go see Tarot and I saw it and I was like, Derek, I think we could actually check this one out for the podcast, because it was before I left that Derek was like, hey, that one's rated low enough. We should check it out. So I've actually seen this movie twice now. But yeah, so I walked away with a trophy, a prize, and that one was so close, Derek.
So close to Garfield's mouth.
This is upsetting. No one can even see this. No one understands the excitement, the electricity
They might
in the
be able to
studio
hear
today.
the occasional card flip.
That was so close! You're getting so close to the.
What if I have 4 cards left?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, no!
Oh no! Oh,
No!
what if it was the last
That would
one?
have been incredible. I'm gonna go pick up the last one though.
Yeah,
and that's
find
Chris Pratt.
find the closest one to the card up in there. Wow, that was a journey that nobody listening to this could even be a part of. So we went to go see Tarot, and so we I bought a Garfield bucket just because I had to, for the sake of this podcast. Garfield be with you always, always, always. So yeah, Derek has tried to throw all of his tarot cards in there, and it did not go according to plan, really. But we watched Tarot, and that's the movie we're going to be doing for this episode this week. I've now seen it twice. Derek has seen it the one time,
Which was enough.
and I think that'll be a fun dynamic to do here on the
I
podcast.
think so, because I was kind of fresh to it.
So let's
pull
what's
out
up
the
in here?
card inside of Garfield.
And he made it the first try. There's
I
not a
did.
floor full of tarot cards right
Nope.
now.
This is great.
Did you get one with a name this time?
The right side up star.
All right, the star, right side up. These are such pretty cards. They're like all gold and foily,
Hope,
pretty.
faith, and rejuvenation for
Wow.
Mr. Chris Pratt.
Okay, now is this? I don't
That
know
actually
if
checks out.
I don't know if I want it for Chris Pratt. Can it just be for Garfield?
He is Garfield. They are one and the same.
I don't know if they
both
are.
love lasagna.
They what? No, I don't know about that. Beep, 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 beep. What's that? Oh, it's our little phonograph over here. Oh, there's a special news broadcast coming in. Headline here: Chris Pratt, star of Garfield, doesn't like the lasagna, and the internet is rightfully
He's such
mad.
A dingus.
He's such a dingus. He was on what is it? He was in an interview with Chris Killian from comicbook.com talking about lasagna, Garfield's favorite food, right? Killian asked Pratt if he ever got to enjoy the Italian dish now that he's part of Arnold Schwarzenegger's family. I forgot that he married
Arnold Schwarzenegger's
daughter or something like that. I have no idea. And you know them, famous bodybuilder guy, governor of California, that kind of mayor of all of California. Derek, will you give me your best impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger just giving decreeing something tell it lasagna for all.
Don't you know? You must eat the lasagna.
Oh my God.
Everyone eat lasagna. It's so bad.
That's so terrible.
Horrible.
Is it racist? I don't know. I don't know what his deal is.
We did a whole episode.
Does he just talk funny?
Do you remember?
He's from somewhere. I was a different person.
I was in the movie. What movie was it?
But Chris Pratt hurt Garfield to his core, replying, "No, in fact, I don't like lasagna. I think it's kind of overrated." And so Killian, the one interviewing him, says, "Oh, I don't like the vegetables they hide in there." And Chris jumped in to trash lasagna even further, adding, "Then the long, flat noodles and then the little white cheese ends up being cold and there's not enough sauce. I'm not a fan." I'm gonna kill you, Chris Pratt. I'm gonna come to your house.
Whoa!
I
get a gun. Jim Davis is safe.
I need a new gun. That gun was reserved for Jim Davis. I need a new gun and a new shirt that says
Here's what you do. Here's what you do to him.
And all I got was a plate of lasagna.
No. Here's what you do. Instead of shooting him, you break into his house. You tie him up. Well, maybe not that.
Force feed him lasagna.
No. You replace every food in his house with lasagna.
That's good. But even like going a level deeper. It's not just like everything is lasagna. He opens up the Ritz crackers and there's lasagna in there.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
No, that's what I meant.
We're going to make like lasagna flavored thing. He's going to go for a bag of Lay's chips, lasagna flavored chips.
That's clever.
Everything.
But you got to pay attention to what he said. He specifically doesn't like the vegetables that hide. He doesn't like the noodles. He doesn't like the little white cheese, right?
That's
so
fair.
What you could do is you could add those things to his everyday life. So with your Ritz crackers, you have like a little white noodle in there, or like he opens up a bag of Doritos, he reaches in, he pulls out some cottage cheese.
That's
He's like,
really
what
good.
The fuck is cottage cheese?
But like
doing
take
in
it a
my
step
Doritos?
further, like ruin his whole day with it. He gets up, he's in like his pajamas, he goes to put on his slippers. What's that in the slippers? Is a bunch of cottage cheese.
And you could even make a like layer cake that on the outside is a normal cake, and then on the inside it's a lasagna. So he's like, "Oh, it's my birthday." Oh, it's lasagna. Shit.
Oh, I hope there's a stripper inside. It's just lasagna.
What?
That's a thing in cakes.
In like a small, like palm-sized cake.
He's into really small women.
Oh, me too. It's me, Pocket Priest. I'm into really small women.
Pocket Priest, has your wife ever hopped out of a cake before?
Yeah. Hey, I got one.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. What's that on the
Garfield's movie is currently sitting at 73%.
73. That's kind of high.
It's really high.
That's way higher than
what
I was expecting.
What if this movie's good?
I don't want it to be good.
Me neither.
I
also want it to be bad.
This. Oh God, I was really hoping it would be bad. Yeah, I think we really should watch it for the podcast.
Oh,
though.
Absolutely.
We should do some kind of special.
We're
something.
Do a special.
It's coming out in like a week at this point. It's like Memorial Day weekend.
It
or
comes
something
out
like
in
that.
5 days.
In
from
5
recording
days.
Of this
We're on that Garfield creep, guys. The Garfield countdown has started. We're gonna go in Chris Pratt, and we're gonna have some words to say about it. Speaking of people having words to say about it, apparently Jim Davis signed off on Chris Pratt's like his Garfield voice.
I don't believe it.
Headline here says, quote, Grim Davis.
Grim. Oh my God, Jim, are you okay?
Oh my God, that's got to be a character we create somehow.
Hello,
it's the evil creator of evil Garfield.
I created Marfield.
Oh my God, that's his marred visage is a sight to behold. It's me, Grim Davis. I'm obsessed with that. I'm sorry, we're coming up with some incredible ideas here.
Sits there on the couch in a cloak.
But I imagine he's the type that has like Marfield, this evil cat, like in his lap, like petting it.
But so he looks like Jim Davis, but he's wearing a cloak. And you know how when you reverse the like color polarization on your phone?
Yes.
That's what he looks like. So it's not like a different color cat.
So it's like the negative
it's like
image
the negative
version.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, the negative image of Garfield.
That is beautiful. But so, quote, Jim, not Grim, Jim Davis signed off, ? Chris Pratt reacts to Garfield's creators' 10 out of 10 review of his voice. This is on screenrant.com. Nowhere on this does it actually say what Jim Davis actually said about it. But there is a bit where Chris Pratt is kind of talking about it in an interview because he literally he heard this news during an interview. So like this is his live reaction to it. And it is such a flat, boring response. I will give it to you exactly how he would have. I'm just going to bask in that for a second. Jim Davis signed off. This is the first I've heard that. That's beautiful. That makes me feel really proud. That's awesome.
Oh,
it's shocking to think that he would even know who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's Jim Davis.
Oh my God.
I remember seeing him at the bottom of every Garfield cartoon comic strip as a kid. That's cool. Like that is his whole response to the fact that the creator of this character that he is besmirched is giving him the go ahead. He's like, that's nice. I'm really happy to know that. Super good, and cool.
Hey, here's a check for $1 million.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm excited. Yes.
No,
Not even then.
It's supposed to be like, oh wow, this is $1 million.
Oh wow,
Thank
this is
you.
$1 million. I'm really surprised that they would give me this much money for being. No, now I'm sounding too much like a actual Garfield voice actor. Why can't they just hire voice actors? Why is it so hard? High Horse, get in here.
What do you want?
I'm gonna hop. There's no time to build a box. I'm gonna hop on you.
You give me a tarot reading? What's my card?
Here's your card. Ready?
Okay.
I'm just gonna pull one from the floor in front of me.
Why are they all over the card?
Hey, High Horse. I don't know. This ain't looking good for you, High Horse.
Ref?
Will you just read this card out loud to the viewers?
Oh,
here?
the revel. I love the revel. Was it
devil.
upside down?
No, it was right side up. Am I just incapable of pulling cards upside down? What is happening?
Oh, addiction. Oh, no, it's addiction.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Materialism and playfulness. That fits me.
How could
Wait, why are these so accurate?
Why is
Derek, are you falling over?
That's incredible. What is happening? This is
Tarot
kind of
cards,
scary.
man. Tarot cards.
Listen, guys, tarot is real.
I think it might be. I'm scared. This is Derek talking through me. I'm scared.
This is terrifying. I'm a little scared.
Terrifying. Hey, I'm gonna go get addicted to crack cocaine again.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's in the cards for you.
It's in the cards. Peek.
Cocaine is in the cards. Good Lord. No, but sincerely, why can't they just hire voice actors to be characters in movies, please? So we got all these tarot cards around us, Derek. Should we discuss maybe the movie Tarot from 2024?
Probably. Real quick, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking? I'm drinking lovely like juice, like peachy colored concoction here. Kind of gives me the vibe of this old tarot deck you would find in the basement of this house you were renting.
Me.
Bilbo
Barton.
God,
hey, you got
so
a tarot
long.
reading for me?
I got a tarot
We started
reading for
doing
you.
it. You have to do it for all the
Yeah,
characters
okay.
now.
Just give me a second.
They're all over the floor. They're literally all over the floor.
Find one that has a name on it. Okay.
All right, that was upside down.
All
I
right.
saw.
Yep. Okay. So we have the Page of Wands. What's going on with the Page of Wands?
I have a lack of direction. I have
Okay.
procrastination, and I always create conflict.
That does track because I feel
checks
like the
out.
drinks you make are always like they're right on the spot. That's what you're making.
Definitely every time, 100%. And I never really have a. Okay, that's in. This is Derek. That's really accurate.
It's scary how accurate that is. What is happening? What is going on? Something scary is happening. I'm
I
literally
feel
pulling
icky.
these off of the floor. Something is in the air.
Well.
It's Grim Davis. Grim Davis watches us.
What did you drink today? Well,
Oh my god!
you're drinking the hermit's hand crab.
The what?
That's not what Emily told me to name this drink, but it's close.
What did she say? Do you
I don't remember.
Probably something much more clever.
It was hermit something, and then I the hermit's
something about
hand
the hermit's
job.
lantern or what's in the hermit's hand job?
I can't tell you.
Oh my god!
Anyway, in
Grim
this
Davis
drink,
is the hermit's hand job.
Grim Davis in the hermit's hand job. Would you sit on a corner and ask for a hand job? You wouldn't give a hand job to a hermit.
You would download a hand job.
Oh, check out what I got on my Zune. You got hermit's hand job?
That's right, boy. Go. I mean, we don't need to delve into the deep recesses of the darkness of that.
Of the hand job?
The dark implications of the hermit's hand job.
Okay.
What is in this drink, Bilbo?
You got a little fruit punch.
Okay.
Then
that's
you've
good.
got a little bit of the King of Wands.
Okay.
I took a king.
Is it the
I
part-
took a wand.
is it the-
I
oh.
chopped him up.
So
and
it's
I put him
both.
right in.
I'm getting a little bit of splinters in my tongue.
I
but
shook it
thank
up. I shook it up. I shook it up real good. I shook it up. I shook it up. I shook it up real good.
Real good.
I shook it
got a bunch of splinters in my tongue. Okay.
I poured in the essence of 7,000 dying orphans, and then finally, 1 drop of mango puree. Zippy twist.
Thank you, Bilbo. Thank you very much. How you feeling, Derek? It's been a second since you've been possessed by Bilbo himself.
A lot of hand job talk.
A lot of hand job talk this episode, guys. I feel like we need to have a discussion with him about, like, listen, we got the explicit tag on the Spotify's and such, but like,
Actually, one time I forgot to do that.
oh no, I'm sure
I went back and added it.
I'm sure anyone who saw that was like, there's no way.
There's no way they
There's
didn't
no way
swell.
these two
No,
yahoos could.
These two. All right, let's talk about
We're
tarot
super
from
clean.
2024.
Tarot 2024.
2024 is an interesting year because we keep getting bangers and we keep getting batters.
There's a lot of content, and it seems so divided. Where there are some bangers, some really really good ones, and then some just not making the mark this time around.
Yeah, so this movie was written and directed by Anna Hallberg and Spencer Cohen.
Anna Hallberg.
It was
weird.
also
Why would they
partially
give her that
written
many A's in her name.
By Nicholas Adams. So there were 2 A's. I was trying to figure out how to read it because I know the
Adams.
Adams family, but like if your name is just normally Nicholas Adams. So this is actually based on a 1992 novel called Horoscope.
I saw that
which is hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that in
because
the
we have a
credits.
segment called Horoscope.
we call horoscopes. Do you know anything about this book here at all?
Nope.
You know, that's fair. I appreciate the honesty there. It's very, very good. Just don't mind us.
Can I be completely honest with
Yes.
you? I pulled it up and I was like, should I look this up? And I was like, I don't care enough. But basically, people say that like it was kind of close, but it was definitely pretty like
Loosely based.
loosely based. It was mostly just the idea of it, right? Yeah,
Going on the internet. You got me.
I read it. I read a little bit. It was
You read it on Reddit.
basically, yeah. I was looking at Reddit, and essentially, like, not that much of similarities is what people are saying.
I mean, it seemed like based on
The
the
concept.
the title alone, I can assume some horror happens because people get their horoscope read. Like,
Normally, I'm a lot better at this.
Bing bang boom. What else? What else do you need to know about
What has
it?
happened to me? Why am I not good at podcasting anymore?
You're great.
We
at-
need
you
to
know
go
why?
back in time
It's
and do
'cause-
it once a week
It's
again.
because of the imbalance. That's what it is. It's the
Oh my
imbalance from your.
God, wait a minute.
Oh my God! It's guys. These tarot
I keep
readings
falling over.
are too real.
Okay.
Should we just okay? Hold on. Just talk for a second. I'm gonna pull a card for somebody real quick. Tell us more
For who?
about the. You don't need to know.
Who you put for Garfield? Well, I mean, so one thing about the book, I mean, right off the bat, all of the characters' names are different. All of the characters are basically different. So we can go out on a limb, a big old limb, and assume that they're different. Okay?
Hey guys, I walked into the studio today and I saw there were a bunch of cards on the ground, and this one really spoke to me. It's called the Empress. Ooh la la. I love it.
puny
I hope I can impress her. You know what I mean?
Was it upside down or was it right side
It
up?
sure was upside down when I pulled it, Derek.
This, I hate how accurate this
Oh
is.
no, is it? This is why I was testing it. Is it really that accurate?
Yes. Dependence, smothering,
Smothered.
emptiness,
What do you-
and nosiness.
What do you mean, Derek?
You are
do you
so
feel
nosy.
Smothered
You're
by
an
me?
empty-brained little boy. You're smothering me all the time, but yet there's some sort of dependence on us because we're keeping you alive. Somebody explain to me why these tarot cards are so freaking accurate.
What is happening? It's real life. I've never been like much of a skeptic, but like there's some
Weird.
evidence going on in this episode.
I cannot
folks.
stress to you how scattered these cards are. Is that bad? That's probably bad. We're probably in trouble for doing that.
That's probably not
Am
good.
I going to get Final Destination?
The tarot police are coming after us.
Woo! Well, anyway, back to the movie. So yeah, Nicholas Adams wrote the book
Adams.
in 1993. So basically, just understand they're different,
Two different things.
but like basic ideas are there.
Mm-hmm.
It was written and directed by Spencer Cohen. He hasn't really done too much
We're
writing.
not like
However,
that Cohen, right?
he did no.
No.
Not my boys, the Coen brothers. He did, however, write the Expendables 4. So whatever that does for you.
Just that one?
Yeah. Yep. Just 4. So that's fun. Anna Hallberg. She was a producer on Expendables 4.
So it seems like they're a little duo here.
Yeah, but she just produced it. She didn't write it.
Right,
This is actually her first writing credit that matters, and her first directing credit that matters. Well,
Okay.
I mean, she did a podcast series called Classified.
I didn't know podcast series can get put on IMDb. That's
Why
really
are we not
interesting.
on IMDb?
We gotta have an IMDb page now. You
I mean, we can't. All you have to do is pay money to be an IMDb Pro, and then you can add yourself to IMDb.
Well, you know that's fair. Can we just
Maybe we should.
but under like cast? Can we put all of our different characters?
Oh my God! Wait, no, that's actually really smart because we can put the voices and what characters.
Oh my
we do.
God! Because then we can actually keep track of this shit.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. We'll think about our IMDb page.
So Tarot came out in 2024 and has a critics rating of 19%, but an audience rating of 54%.
And that
pretty big difference.
That ranking keeps going down. I worked on the marketing for this episode for like the stuff that we post and stuff. When I made that, it was at 20%. Now it's at 19%. That was only like a day or two ago.
Yeah, it's
so
going
it
down.
is still on the decline.
And the decade.
Definitely not going up.
And then, yeah, the audience is 54. And it has changed since I did my notes. It is now 56.
What on earth? That's crazy.
I don't know. People are apparently liking this movie. Letterboxd is sitting
middle
at
of the road at least
2.2, and IMDb is at a 5.0. Now, I'm a little torn about this next bit of information because this movie had a budget of $8 million.
Okay,
which is like a good amount of money.
That's a
like
decent amount of money.
That's
yeah.
a big budget.
I mean,
movie
it
at
is
that point.
Sony is behind this one, right?
Yeah.
It is a Sony picture. So
They
Sony,
let us know.
Sony got that cash.
They didn't let us know how they let us know in like Slender Man, where everyone had a Sony phone.
A Sony phone.
But like this one, they let us know.
Yes.
It grossed $29 million already.
What?
It has grossed $21 million
no
on
one
top
talk
of its
about
budget.
this. Who's going to see this movie?
Apparently, a lot of people. I mean when we
fuck,
saw it,
I
there
saw
were
it
people
twice.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you loved it so much?
It was just so incredible. I loved it so much.
But that means like. Here's my issue with this is like these movies come out and they're what I call teen bait movies where they're like, okay, a scary movie's in the theaters. We're going to go see it with our friends. We're going to scream. Girls are going to hug us, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they don't put any effort into these movies.
No.
So what ends up happening is you come out with these flops that make a ton of money and overshadow the movies that could make more money, i.e. things like Late Night with the Devil that didn't really make as much money, but was, for all intents and purposes, a better movie, quote unquote.
You know
right?
what's funny? You mentioned the fact about a packed theater of people screaming in it. I saw this movie twice, right? I saw it once on like a Saturday night, the first time, packed theater, a bunch of people. Like the theater was electric, everyone was reacting and stuff. A lot more fun, like a much more fun time than when we saw it on like just the morning time with nobody in the theater.
Yeah, there
it was
just, like,
us and two other people.
Yeah.
I think one of them was crying during the movie too.
She had a really hard time.
Something must have happened during that one. But there is something to be
Probably
said
got a
about
tarot reading right before, and it was just she was supposed to go see this movie.
the environment in which you enjoy movies really has an effect on things.
Absolutely. I mean, look at how we reacted to the Nun 1 versus the Nun 2, right?
That's
it's
true.
the same situation. I mean, Nun 1 was like, I despised that movie. We watched it in my basement.
Yeah.
And then Nun 2 we saw in a packed theater, and it was that same experience where I was like, oh, this movie kicks ass.
Yeah, exactly. And I do still feel, I mean, the thing is, like, my thought about the movie did not change, like, personally.
No, but the experience.
But the experience of watching it, I had a lot more fun in a packed theater with a bunch of people screaming and oohing and awing the whole time. Like, that's a fun time.
But then you look at, like, it really does shape your experience. Like, because I look at my experience of watching The Whale.
Yes.
Which I talk about all the time. How
That depends on the movie for sure.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like the medium makes a difference, but also how you experience the medium makes a difference, right? Because I saw that movie in a completely empty theater by myself with one other person, like 4 rows ahead of me, and that was like one of the best movie theater experiences of my life.
And you said you both walked out of that theater and just kind of like nodded. To
Yeah,
each
we
other,
like
just
stood up, nodded, and walked separate ways out of the theater, and then I cried in my car for 20 minutes.
Tears streaming down your face. Yeah. Wow. So it changes things for sure.
Oh yeah, that movie changed me. Expectations.
Wait, we got to talk about the Rotten Tomatoes reviews first.
I'm sorry, I was excited to expect.
I was excited to expect too. Sorry guys, I'm a little distraught here because Rotten Tomatoes has changed up the layout of their website, so things look weird now, and I don't know how to look at it. So let's just do the critics review. That's what we
goes
do,
back
right?
to what we're used to.
That's what I know and love. All right, so Jeffrey M. Anderson from
Steve.
Common Sense Media says, with a rotten review, says, an ineffective, shameless copy of tons of other groups of friends make a mistake and get stalked by a killer one by one movies. This horror tale offers nothing new, not even a decent homage.
Oof.
Ouch.
Oof.
Oof.
Maxence Vissé
Okay.
of In Session Film with a D- review.
Maxence.
Maxence says the direction they take from the get-go is so unimaginably inept that no actor, no matter how talented and skillful they may be, Olwen is particularly wasted here, they say, can save it.
What's really funny here is I was debating between these two, really the only two that I can see. Well, there's some at the bottom. Some positive reviews for this, some fresh reviews for this. Both of them say full review in Spanish. So I think this one really killed.
It really killed in
Spanish.
I mean, there was like
places.
Spanish lore.
I guess that's fair. So from Aglea Berluti from Hypertextual says, Tarot takes up the topic of cursed objects and tries to give it a new twist, but it is halfway between the cliches of the genre and a handful of good ideas that doesn't develop. Full review in Spanish.
From Fausto Fernandez from Fotogramas, he says, of course Tarot is not a great movie. Maybe it's even not a good movie. It's a movie that with scares and rubbish that isn't worried about being more than that.
Yep.
So he enjoyed it.
So exactly. See, those are both positive reviews with I don't know, that's like a 3 out of 5.
That was like a half positive review. That was like toting the line. That's like when you're walking down the street and 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 you see a line on the street. You walk on the street. You walk on that line and you think, I'm going to slip. Then you slip and you step on a crack and your mom is broken in her back.
It's death. What do you do when you're going to die? Or death can be the start of new beginnings. It's time to figure out your life. It's time to figure out your strife. It's tarot. It's time for tarot now. Wow.
Expectations.
What the...
That's freeform jazz.
Can we just like freeform every time we get into it? That was incredible. So expectations for me, generally going into this, I knew. So fun fact: creature designs were solely done by this artist. I know through the internet. His name is Trevor Henderson. I started following him on Twitter a while back. Then I started following him on really anywhere. I enjoy his opinion on movies and stuff. He's just got a really good horror brain, and he makes really disturbing horror art. Like it's the kind of stuff where it's like, you know, a poorly lit hallway in the darkness and then there's some scary form coming up out of there. You probably know some of his really popular designs like Siren Head. Siren Head is one of his, you know, where it's literally just like tall, lanky, grotesque dude who's got literal sirens for a head, like one on either side.
Wah, wah.
And then also there's, I can't remember what it's called, but there's one that's like a long horse where it's literally just like this segmented neck of a white horse with this. Yeah, don't look at that. No, you can't mommy Long Horse.
Long Horse, mommy. Oh no, that was daddy.
Have you seen Long Horse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so
it makes me horny.
You just love. So you're a neck guy, is what I'm hearing.
Hand job Palomino.
You know, I suppose that's the thing. If there's, you know, there's like in the world, you can be a boobs person or an ass person. For horses, they don't really have boobs.
It's necks.
So it's necks, yeah.
It's all about the necks and the tail. No, I mean, have you seen those haunches?
Haunches? Have you seen them haunches?
Like those legs on the horses?
Woof. But I've got a haunch that going into this movie. Shut up.
My lawyer is informing me that I have to let everyone know that I'm not sexually attracted to horses.
Law lawyerman is just holding up a big sign that says "Stop."
Hey, what's up, law lawyerman? Oh, hey, you got a tarot for me?
He talks.
Yeah.
Do I have to get another tarot card?
Yeah.
All right.
Every character on the podcast.
Oh my God.
Any character that comes up today.
Stall as you can as I go to fish for a card.
I was eating my Reuben today without any meat or sauerkraut, which was just mayonnaise and 2 slices of rye bread, and I could not stop eating it. It was so delicious.
Okay.
What card did Law Lorman get?
It was pulled upside down. I haven't looked at it yet.
The reverse.
We have the Ace of Swords. God, this is hilarious. Why don't we do tarot reading? This is not how you're supposed to do tarot readings. We understand that and mean no hate or bashfulness on anyone who sincerely does tarot readings.
It's me, Law Lawyerman.
We're silly goof 'em up guys.
My lawyer is informing me to say that
Law Lawyerman's lawyer, Law Lawyerman is holding up another big sign that says "Stop." This time with an exclamation mark.
Yep.
So tell me about the Ace of Swords.
It
reverse.
is confusion, brutality, and chaos.
Is that what what you've got going.
You know
for it.
what?
We haven't delved deep
Kinda
enough into
checks
his
out, though.
character.
I'm gonna go eat another Reuben with no meat, no sauerkraut.
I suppose
Only
there's nothing
mayonnaise.
more chaotic than a mayo and rye bread sandwich. So
And it's a little brutal.
that really tracks.
Also, when I take you to court, I really brutalize you.
Good Lord.
It's chaos.
So thank you, Law Lawyerman. And to our expectations of the movie, we're never gonna get there.
I mean, we're doing good. I'm not worried.
So my expectation going into this, I followed Trevor Henderson for a minute. I knew he was designing the creatures.
Yeah, same.
I felt like that was going to be really the only thing I enjoyed from this movie because I watched the trailer. I'm like, not digging the vibes, but the
No.
creatures look cool. So maybe that's what I'll take out of this. What was your general?
I'll have a fine time.
Fine time.
I'll have a fine time. I
Just
didn't really I don't know. Again, the whole Teen Beatty thing was really getting to me. So
the whole what?
I'll go over it in my second expectations.
Oh,
Third
okay.
expectation.
Okay. My first formal expectation says Ned from Spider-Man, who is definitely in this movie. You know, from like the Spider-Man with Tom Holland and stuff. That actor's name is Tommy Batalon.
Whoa, what are you saying? His name's Jacob Batalon.
Jacob. Wow, I'm making names up. Jacob. I'm just really good with names today.
Batalon.
Tommy Batalon. That's like his Waluigi. Jacob Batalon. However you want to say his name, from the newer Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. He's in this, and so I said his character's name in Spider-Man is Ned. So I said Ned from Spider-Man is gonna take me out of it because that's what always happened. Derek, come on. I
just missed being on a podcast.
We're having fun in the studio
been
today.
too long.
So I have a thing where like when I know an actor from something like Marvel movies or even Disney movies, other like happy-go-lucky things, when I see them in something like a horror IP, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to believe them. For instance, Madeline
Webb.
Something. No, not Madeline. Madeline something. She's in Riverdale. What's her name? The redhead one.
Oh, the hottie.
She is in. You think so? She is in the new Strangers movie, which
Everyone hated her in Riverdale. I kind of liked her.
Yeah, Derek
I don't
liked
know.
her.
I
Derek's
don't know.
kind of in there.
I don't know why. She was fine. Yeah, she had a weird sex thing with her brother who died, but like it's fine. They probably lived in Alabama.
We're gonna look past that.
Riverdale is probably in Alabama, so it's probably cool. Anyway, she's in The Strangers, which is sitting at like a 19%.
Yeah, I was gonna
so we're
say,
probably gonna
hey
go see
Derek,
that.
should we check that movie out because it is
really
poorly
We've
rated.
already done 2 movies from this year. Let's just go see The Strangers for
Let's
next week.
keep going.
We'll
going.
watch Gremlins or whatever one day.
But anyway, so it's my point is seeing her as I know her in Riverdale coming into a horror movie. I'm like, I can't take you seriously, and so that's how I felt about Jacob from the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he sucked.
Don't tell them yet. They don't know that.
Oh, they know.
Oh, they know.
Everybody, you watch the
Everyone
trailer,
assumed.
you know. The cool creatures in this movie will be used badly. I'm going to read it how I wrote this expectation
Yes.
in the theater. Cool creatures, bad use of.
I was literally next to Derek in the theater as he was like talking to me and our other friend Seth in between writing notes. He's like, no, shut up. I have to make notes. Oh, but did you see? Oh, look at that movie. It was chaotic.
I have criminally diagnosed ADHD, and you cannot attack me for that.
You're a beautiful.
This is a safe space.
This is a safe space.
I'm
Except there's cards all over the
unbalanced.
floor.
I'm unbalanced.
You are unbalanced, and I am a father. So I said the best part is going to be the creature design. So just going in with my general expectation, I was really excited for those. Not a lot else.
Rough attempt to get us to care about the characters. In these kind of movies, you always expect that, like, you know, the mom's dead or the cat's dead or the best friend left the other friend or like the relationships.
Past.
I just realized there is a mom's dead plot in this movie, but I forgot about it until right now. Even doing my notes, I didn't remember that.
It ties in. It all comes back around. I said struggles to find balance between horror and comedy because it is actually listed as a horror comedy movie.
Is it?
When at least last time I looked it up on Google, it says horror comedy, and like, but even beyond that, I'm like this movie is going to struggle the balance between these awesome cool creatures and this weird lighthearted romp of a teen friends movie.
There was nothing funny about this movie.
No,
Even
there
the
wasn't.
things that were bad weren't funny.
No,
Like, it made me more mad than, like, I was laughing,
Yes.
but not because it was a funny movie.
no.
That's
Laughing
hilarious.
at it, not
it
with
does
it.
say
for
horror
sure.
comedy on Google.
What's your next expectation?
That it should be a horror comedy.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
definitely.
Very teen bait movie style. So let me explain that.
What does
So-
that mean? What, Derek? What
I
does
kind
that
of
mean?
explained it earlier in the episode, but basically, like, I think teen bait movies are things like this, or your Conjurings,
Oh,
or
yes,
your,
I see what you're saying.
or your Insidiouses.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Well, that's not teen bait, but that's bait, or is it? It's great. It's great bait.
It's not bait, but it's great.
It's great bait. Never mind. So very teen bait movie style. Like everything about this movie was screaming that to me. Where it's like, you know, you got a bunch of friends. You're going to go see a movie on Friday night.
Yes.
Oh, Tarot's out. There's nothing else out. Let's go see that.
That's the very typical. Let's go have a fun time screaming at this scary movie that's out in theaters right now,
Well,
right?
And also, I feel like this one is doing the same thing that Ouija did, where
Yes.
it was like, oh, let's take this thing that a lot of people are scared of, a lot of people use, and turn it into a horror movie.
Yep, that totally
And I mean, the
tracks.
same thing happened with Ouija. It sucked, and then Ouija: Origin of Evil came out by my great Lord and Savior Mike Flanagan. And
How have we never watched either of these? Have you seen?
I've seen Origin. Of Evil.
Have you seen both of them?
No, I've just seen the.
So we need to watch
Mike
the
Flanagan.
bad one, is what you're saying. Could watch
Do you
Ouija.
see my giant smiling face?
Ouija. My next expectation just says lazy writing. I really felt like this one was not going to give us anything substantial, and everything was going to be so easy and convenient and just lazy. Sincerely,
Yeah.
the easiest route in every capacity.
I wrote wannabe Final Destination. This was pretty obvious from the
Yes.
trailer, but I was curious how wannabe Final Destination actually was.
Yes, and I saw a lot of reviews that basically said it is lazy Final Destination. So like that definitely tracks here. I said probably insensitive to the art of tarot. Not sure. Not that we haven't been insensitive here by throwing a whole deck of cards on the ground. That's probably bad.
I
Derek.
really
Like,
regret it. With
I
how
feel
accurate
bad.
these cards have been today, I regret everything.
Something's gonna happen to us, Derek. I don't know.
Stop getting scared.
I
don't like that.
What's your last expectation?
My last expectation is it's going to be one of the worst scripts in recent years.
Yeah.
Listen, and that's saying something because I watched that movie, Anyone But You, and that was the worst script I had ever heard in my life. So we'll see if this movie bleed it out.
We'll see if this one. So Derek, I'm gonna pull a card now for let's do one for our rendition of this movie and see what happens.
You're going to pull.
I'm gonna pull a card to tell
for
our
the
fate for the
idea
rest
of
of this
the movie.
podcast. Yeah, absolutely.
What does that even mean? I mean, you're walking away from me, so you're not going to. I don't know. What is it? Just like flip it up at me. Oh, I'm going to draw. Ooh, the right side up. No, that's a number. I should have taken those out of the deck. Oh, that's a number. Oh, the sun. This is a right side up sun.
And what does that mean, Derek? I've never left my seat this much during an episode of the podcast.
Joy, success, celebration, and positivity.
Well, now, okay.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Derek's making a face because he doesn't know how he feels about that in regards to this movie particularly.
And now, to be fair, I'm going to go ahead and throw some of the cards back.
Throw them back up in the mix to even it out. Is
Well,
that what
you never know. Like, you don't look. Close your eyes. 'cause you don't wanna pick them up.
Okay. I'm not looking.
Okay, now the cards have been redispersed, so that if for one reason or another we have to draw another one,
Which
the
is
other cards are back in the mix.
awfully likely to happen.
Because listen, you can't have a slimmed down tarot deck because what if someone's reading is the sun, but the sun has already been drawn? You
That's
know what
true.
I mean?
That's more than fair.
That's why I shuffled into the microphone.
So
the card
let's
just flipped out of the air on its own. I'm genuinely scared.
Nope. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Let's talk about this movie now, Tarot 2024. So we're starting out. We just got a couple of best friends out under the stars at a campfire outside of a mansion that they rented for some reason.
Happy birthday, Elise!
They're celebrating Elise's birthday.
Happy birthday!
And they're just, oh, happy birthday, Elise. Oh, did you know it's my birthday? It's my birthday. I'm Elise. Oh, Elise, happy birthday. Hey, the birthday girl. Yeah.
Did you know it was her birthday?
Did you get that? Because it's super important for some reason.
They also say it 8,000 times.
They're all just chilling around the campfire. It's playing like most likely to blah, blah, blah. They're all feeling like it's super quirky, but this acting feels so artificial. Like literally, it feels like all of them are acting in a commercial. Like that's the vibe here. So it's basically like there's 7 friends total, I want to say. 2 of them are couples. One of the couples just recently broke up. And I only mention because it's kind of a plot point. Well, the 2 of them are just kind of at odds the whole time. And that's really the most we get out of it. But at this party this weekend that they've rented out this little house for, they ran out of beer. They ran out of beer. They literally, we don't know at this point how many days they've been out here in the woods with this little mansion that they're staying at, but they have filled an entire like school-sized trash can overflowing with cans of beer. Like, how much could they possibly have drinking? Drink. Thank you. Drunk. It's impossible. It feels impossible to be.
It feels impossible.
But so yeah, somehow in the short span of time, they drank an entire garbage worth of beer. So naturally, they break into a restricted area of the house. It literally tells them not to go inside of it, leading into this super spooky basement full of these spooky knickknacks and old antiques and artifacts and stuff. And what's that? Oh, let's blow the dust off of this little box here. Oh, it's a spooky box with spooky tarot cards. And that's what's going on here. So one of the main girls, like pretty much our final girl character who had broken up with this one dude in the movie, her name is Haley. And apparently she is just into astrology and tarot. Like, that's just the thing she knows about. So the friends all peer pressure her into doing a reading for each of them, horoscope style, right? It takes such little convincing because at first she's like, oh, I don't know about that. They're like, come on. She's like, well, okay, no problem then. The card designs kick ass. Like, thank you, Trevor Henderson. Your designs really do
cool.
well. Whoever reached out to get in contact with you to do these designs, they also deserve some praise here just because you made some really, really great cards. And I will never for a moment pull from that. You did a great job, Trevor. I'm proud of you. Trevor, here's a gold star. Take this gold star. I love you. Mwah. But so before starting all these readings, Haley goes, it's an unspoken rule not to use someone else's deck. I'm pretty sure it's an unspoken rule. You're not even supposed to touch somebody else's deck, right?
Also, I'm pretty sure it's a spoken rule.
It's a spoken, not even
I've heard people say that.
That is a thing. It's a quite spoken rule. And then immediately starts doing readings for anyone. Because you know why? Because Elise is like, did you forget the part where it's my birthday?
It's my birthday.
Lord. And again, without any convincing at all, she's like, okay, then here we go. So first up is Elise, the birthday girl, right? Her main card is so they do this, like they have a little, I don't know anything about it. So they have this little fabric thing that has like this astrological sign on it. They put all the cards in a circle that correspond to like the different planets, I want to say, right? Is that right?
Yeah, because they're mixing it with the astrological stuff
for a horoscope reading. And then at the very center of it, they have this one main card, right? And that is what's going to be propelling us through the rest of the movie. So first up, her main card is the High Priestess. And each reading comes with very specific details that may come up later. You know, in Elise's reading, like Derek wrote down everything that happens in them, right?
Yep. So the High Priestess, she said that she would slip up, have a crushing blow, and like climb the ladder.
Yes, exactly. So those are specific things that are mentioned there, right?
Yep.
Next up, we have Madeline, and her card was the Hanged Man.
And she said, life's just going to be water under the bridge. Try not to get hung up.
Mm-hmm. Try not to get hung up.
Get out.
Sorry, I bing.
Go.
Paige gets the Magician.
Yep. And hers was basically, you're going to be pulled in two directions.
Okay. Well, we can assume what's going on there.
I mean, hung up.
Paxton is the character who's from the Spider-Man movies. He gets the Fool, which seems pretty appropriate for him.
And his was like the longest one.
Yeah.
They like really tried to make him like the main character. And I think it's just because he was probably the top build because of Spider-Man.
The few like named characters that's been in a big project.
He got like 3 different readings. His said boxed in, one door opens, another closes, but he shows up for his friends when least expected.
Luke gets the Hermit.
Yep. Light leading down the wrong track.
Mm-hmm. Grant gets the Devil. Grant is the other half of this couple of the girl who's reading. So Haley and Grant, they just broke up.
Pour gasoline on the fire, and you're going to have to sacrifice yourself for the ones you love.
That's the Devil for Grant. Haley has Death.
Love will be the death of me is all she says.
Yep, exactly. Because she apparently has done readings for herself. She knows that her relationship with this Grant guy has been doomed from the start.
And apparently she's always pulling death.
Yes.
Every single time.
She's like, it's the same thing every time, blah, blah. And this movie is literally spelling everything out for us. Like if we were to believe this goes Final Destination style, that's the whole rest of the movie. All of these things, ladder to success, you get pulled in 2 different directions. The light will lead you down the tracks. So we know how the rest of the movie is going to go.
I was both excited and disappointed about this because I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's see how they use it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, well, now I'm creating a checklist and I'm going to see how accurate. And I really
And
did do that.
It really just keeps happening. So, I mean, this lighthearted Disney-esque dialogue does not belong with such grim figures in this tarot deck. I really feel like these two things don't belong together. They really tried to smash them together, and it didn't work all the time.
Another issue I had with this entire scene, other than a lot of things, but like
most things,
is how the music worked with everything. Because they're sitting around and they're doing the tarot reading,
I
and on
paid,
one,
no attention to the music.
it was fine, but it wasn't conducive to what was happening on screen. So like you have these people who are flipping over the card, they're feeling a little ominous. The friends are all laughing and having a great time, like it's hilarious.
Super lighthearted.
But then the music over the top of it is just like this screeching, scary music that's just like trying to be unsettling.
Yeah.
It was very incongruous, but not in a good way.
No.
It did not work for me at all.
It doesn't know how to
about
be
this.
like
It was
tension building and spooky.
It was like my exact note. It's like a Hallmark movie with some scary music.
Yes.
Incongruity is just not working.
It's not working. So after all of this, they all head back home after this fun weekend. Elise seems to be the first victim. She's back at her empty apartment complex. For some reason, everyone is gone. They're out doing something else. I have no idea what it is.
Taking a shower.
She's taking
Everybody
a shower.
takes showers in freaking teen bait movies.
Yep.
But
It's a big thing.
this is something we haven't talked about on the podcast.
No nudity.
Did you hear this? In a recent report, like I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but nudity in movies over the last 5-6 years has gone down like 60%.
Really?
Yeah, but think about it. Think about the last new movie you saw with nudity in it.
No, yeah, that totally
Last one I
tracks. It's
saw
just
was
not
that
a
one
thing.
with Jennifer Lawrence, and she was naked for basically no reason.
Yeah.
Just like running through the beach.
So strange.
But like, no, it's good. Like,
yeah, no, it's not so much of a thing.
We're starting to focus on other things in movies, and like that's awesome.
Because I feel like a big reason why nudity was even such a big thing is like it was a wow factor. Like, look at this, come see our movie to see boobs kind of thing, you know?
Now people could just see boobs.
Now people
can
can see boobs whenever you want. I'm gonna look at boobs right now. Boop, boop, boop. There's some... I was just kidding.
Garfield.
Don't look up Garfield
Google
boobs.
Garfield
Whatever
boobs.
you do, don't Google Garfield boobs. Derek, I swear to God, Derek,
I'll Google.
don't do it. No.
Ah!
Oh, that's not. Nope.
That's not what I expected.
You figure it out on your own. I'm not going to tell you what happens. They all go back home after this fun weekend. Elise is back at her empty apartment. Things seem spooky in the middle. So, like, she lives in, like, what appears to be almost like a college dorm complex thing where, like, there's a hallway with a bunch of rooms lined up along it, right? And in the middle of this big hallway, there's an attic right above it, and the ladder from the attic is down.
I thought this was just her house.
I don't know. It's not her house. She lives there with other
was just
people.
a house.
It's just a weird. I don't know what it is. Honestly, they don't really explain it.
Like a house.
It never explains if they're in college or I don't really know what their deal is. It's not very good at explaining things. But so the ladder to the attic is pulled down for no reason. And then remember the ladder from her horoscope? She's going to rise to the top, slip. She's going to slip and suffer a crushing blow because she's wet from the bath that she just took. Like, this really is like Final Destination for children. It's really just
it really
everything is so obvious
And if it wasn't obvious enough, we're now getting a like voiceover of the tarot
of Haley's tarot readings. They can be heard all around the room.
This made me so mad.
Just in case you forgot how like clever they're being. Like,
No.
oh, do you want to see how we pulled this through? So here's the ladder, and here's how she's gonna slip, and here's the crushing blow. It's like, yeah, man, I got
Okay,
it.
thank
Thanks
you.
for spelling it out for
Thank
me
you.
a second time.
But then we see the creature.
Yes. So upstairs, you can hear like loud footsteps and the laughter of the high priestess. She gets up there, and then the room suddenly turns from like a decrepit-looking attic to like this room with a bunch of crosses hanging up. There's like ritualistic candles all over the room, and then the high priestess looks awesome. She looks super cool.
Yeah.
She's just got this like bandage covering her eyeballs that like where you would imagine blood would be seeping out of the eyes is like this black like liquid that had been covered
Pretty
through
cool.
them. She just like is grimy and gross and looks awesome. Like, I don't know how else to describe her. She just looks super cool.
there to do her job. She's there to kill her.
So yeah, there's a couple of jump scares with the high priestess. It causes Elise to fall off the ladder, getting a crushing blow, and then she tries to crawl away, and then some like I guess the force of the high priestess, because she's still up in the attic. She pulls her backwards underneath where the ladder is, and then just wraps her spindly fingers around the top of the ladder, lifts it up, and just crushes her like she's
because it's a crushing blow.
like a crushing you
blow.
get it like from.
Yeah.
Like from the reading, you know, do you understand?
And
do
then
you get
it showed her face like too many times. It just didn't know how to cut away.
No, not really. It was a little brutal.
I was so torn
to be killed via ladder.
So torn on this scene.
Yes.
because it was so close to being incredible because the design was cool,
Yes.
the kill was cool, but there was just like a lot happening.
Can you imagine like a Street Fighter style game where it's like all of these characters from this video game, but the High Priestess has like a ladder as her weapon?
Incredible. Well, would the freaking later guy have a train?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
that could be one of his specials.
This is ult.
So yeah, so she's dead now. So Elise has been taken out by the ladder, the crushing blow. The High Priestess got to her. So the friends all meet up the next day, consoling each other about the loss of their friend. Not much comes of it, but then when they leave for the night, Luke gets his visit from the Hermit. There's a quick tangent where Haley talks about why she's into tarot. It's because her mom got sick and died, and it led Haley to go into tarot. Every reading that she did told her that her mom would not make it through whatever her sickness was, and she couldn't stop death. So that's why she's super deep into tarot right now. There's a really obnoxious thing that she did though, where she wears her mom's like hospital bracelet as just like an accessory, I guess.
Yeah.
Just why did that didn't need to happen?
I don't know.
That didn't need to happen at all.
It was so tacked on.
But let's get on to Luke. Luke,
it felt like one of those things that probably happened to someone they knew.
Maybe.
Where they wore the bracelet. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, that was really sad. Let's keep that.
Let's
Let's
make that a
remind
thing.
the audience at every turn.
Really though, it felt like a thing like Derek mentioned, where it's like they're trying to get you to care about these characters.
So
Like,
hard.
really trying.
They
to get you
really
to cry.
want us to care about their relationships.
Yes.
And
And I really don't, personally. So Luke now gets pursued by the Hermit down into the subway system. And the Hermit looks pretty sick. It's like this ghoulish cloak
one of the-
and just
best
this
one of the movie.
lantern that comes out of his cloak, and then like he makes darkness appear throughout all of like the tunnels in this train station. I'm really digging this scene so far. So lights start to flicker all around him. No one else is here. He sees the Hermit like flat out in front of him, lantern and all the lights go out. He ends up in some like eerie backlot of this train yard after being chased by this Hermit demon. And yet again, the reading is read aloud again.
But this one was almost cool because like there were words like spray painted
took a
all over
different
the
twist on
wall
it, yeah.
that were like the things like going down the wrong track. It's follow the light, that kind of thing.
So yeah,
And
like
it
graffiti on
worked.
trains was spelling out. So I'm like, that's a new spin on what they did, just barely. So it was a step up. It wasn't necessarily
But
good.
they still read it out loud.
Yes, it was still basically the same thing. So he's chased into like an actual train where he hides at the very back of it he hides till he's forced to run to the back of the train because the Hermit like flies towards him in this scary manner. I thought he was kind of spooky. I liked him a
he
lot.
looked really cool.
He was probably up in my top of these 7-8 creatures that are in this movie.
Yeah.
And so then he runs to the back of the train. Then he gets jump scared from the side of him. He gets scared sideways out of the train into an oncoming train, which just splatters him into a mist of blood.
Dude.
It was actually it was
brutal.
effective. It was kind of
very
effective for sure. So now the friends gather again, and so they got to get the gang together to solve this mystery because the police are no help. There's one scene where
it's a teen bait horror movie.
yeah, exactly. So like, oh, the police aren't going to help us. We're going to
solve it ourselves.
They're really kind of feeling like the mystery gang from Scooby Doo,
Oh, yeah.
but like so much. They're terrible at
So they gathered him in a library.
yeah, it's so
Made me
weird.
mad. I don't know why this made me mad.
Yeah.
They just like gather in a library.
Exactly. So are they in college? I don't know. I don't know what their deals are. But they start to discuss the possibility of these being murders and not accidents because now 2 of them have happened in these past 2 days. And then suddenly Haley connects that all these murders are connected to her readings. It feels kind of out of nowhere, kind of feels like reaching a bit. But again,
Absolutely.
just kind of lazy writing to make it flow along faster. And so basically everybody except Grant, her ex-boyfriend, is into this idea. And I feel like nobody is really understanding the stakes of what is going on here.
No.
Like they still feel very surface level Hallmark movie acting.
Absolutely.
It's like people are dying. Do you understand that?
Seriously.
So then they go to the computer, they go on the internet,
Going on the internet.
and they just Google horoscope deaths.
Okay, every freaking one of these movies, every single one, they just Google it. That's all the time. Now, that being said, sometimes I'm watching a movie and I'm like, just Google it.
Yep.
Right? I say those things, but it's such an annoying trope.
It's just not that easy. Even someone, I
It's
think
always in a library.
yeah, Paxton even mentions, he's like, you can't just Google horoscope deaths. And someone, the main girl, Haley's like, I know how to use a search engine. Oh my God. It gets them what they want. So it leads them to some woman who knows all about what they're experiencing. This one Google search gave them exactly what they wanted. Her name is Alma Astrom. She won't answer their one call, so they decide to just drive out to her house. And her address is just online for anybody to find out, I
of
guess.
course.
This is another thing where it's like, this is just incredibly convenient. What do you mean it's only a couple hours away? What a coincidence,
Wow,
you know?
what a
Everything is
coincidence.
so close to each other. Like, there's no way this works out that way. So now we're at the Astrom residence with Alma, right? it feels spookier than it actually is. Like, some of the set design really does kick ass. Like,
This house looks fun.
Her house looks really spooky, cabin in the woods kind of vibe. And so, like, her whole house on the inside is just like full-blown conspiracy theorist heaven, right?
Yeah.
So Haley starts to tell Alma about the deck that they use and what's been going on. And Alma just immediately knows exactly what this deck is and everything going on. So this is our exposition dump. So she tells them about many deaths over many years, all dying after doing a tarot reading with the same deck. Like, who would have guessed?
This
Wow.
deck just gets passed around like a... Nope, keep going.
Passed around like a what? Sorry, Derek. That's around like a what? Passed around like a what?
I don't know.
So, like, how does she know so much? Oh, it's because apparently she survived one such instance because she did all of the readings for a group of her friends, but she didn't do her own reading, right?
So she's cool.
Yeah, so she's all right. She's safe. So if you have your fortune, your horoscope, your tarot reading read with this deck, then you are doomed. You are cursed at that point.
I mean, that makes sense.
So that means everyone in this group is cursed because even Haley, who did the readings, did one for herself, right? Which was death, by the way. So now it goes deeper. There's some witch lore with this person called the Astrologer.
Okay, I actually really dug this.
I thought this was kind of cool.
This backstory was good.
It wasn't terrible. So yeah, there's this
Terrible?
There's this fortune teller from the past who worked for a count, and she gave a prediction that he did not like. He was basically that his pregnant wife would not survive the birth with their child, and they would both die, right? So the astrologer and her daughter were cast out of society because this count did not like this prediction at all. Unfortunately, prediction did still come true, right? She's like, you can't change fate. It's what it is. She did multiple readings. That's how it all turned out, right? So then in revenge of that, the count has the daughter killed, and they blame them for witchcraft. Like, it's actually pretty terrible. Yeah. So the astrologer made her own spooky tarot deck and bound herself to it with a dark ritual, killing herself and binding her soul to the cards.
This whole scene was really good.
I liked
it. Was super
Did you really
effective.
like the scene of like her in her tent, like backlit her
slit
shadow, and she
throat.
slits her throat and it splashes onto
Very good.
Some
Very
cool
effective.
set designs that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really dug it there. So this is a soul-bound deck now that is super cursed.
Yeah.
And she's basically this angry astrologer witch is inside of it taking revenge on pretty much anyone that wants to use it, right?
Yeah.
So now with their new knowledge, they ride out and look for a new angle, and they decide right here that they should use their readings to help them fight against these killings because they have all of the knowledge that they need, right? Like, that's exactly what they're doing here. There's a man. Have you noticed a man?
Hello.
How's
it going?
Is that my beautiful boy?
I haven't been on the podcast in months.
Is that Science Jim?
Hi.
Oh, I'm tearing
I'm
up.
Science Jim.
It's
nice
good
to meet you.
It's good to meet
I'm
you.
back from my honeymoon.
How was your with Matt Jane,
Yeah,
right?
me and Matt Jane went on a honeymoon. We
Your
were gone for months.
A very eldritch honeymoon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We went to Nyarlathotep's palace.
Uh-huh.
We went to Shub-Niggurath's little castle.
Okay, yeah.
We went to the Moon Palace.
Wow.
I pet 3 cats, and it was glorious because when I was petting the kitties,
Uh-huh.
Matt Jane was like, "Well, pet my kitty," and I was like,
Okay.
And
Science
then we
Jim.
went back to the house.
Jim. What brings you into the studio? Oh, God.
I've had a lot of sex.
That's I can. You're a different man. It's
Thank
really
you.
changed you a little bit.
Thank you. You know,
So yeah. Mhm.
I don't know.
So
I
what?
just wanted to say hi.
What do you know? Do you have anything to tell us?
I
about
mean, I have a little bit.
Yeah, give it out straight for me, Jim.
Basically, the earliest evidence of a tarot deck that was used for cartomancy, and cartomancy is basically like the use of cards to divine things, right? It's actually in 1750. So it's been a long time. Then Jean-Baptiste Alliette used it in 1780s, and that's basically where it started to become really popular. Super cool, right? I don't have very much information because there's too much. It was mainly just I wanted to say hi.
You just want to say hi. So now we're just for the sake of this episode, we've started doing tarot readings for
I
everyone. So
know.
I'm gonna need you to pull one of these cards here, and let's see. Okay.
I got upside down judgment.
This I'm curious about. I am curious to see what lies for you in judgment.
Lack of self-awareness, doubt, and self-loathing.
Oh, Jim. Oh, it's too real, Jim.
I'm gonna go have sex with my wife.
Okay, maybe that'll make you feel better. I hope you find some fulfillment, harmony, and completion.
These have been so accurate.
It's scaring me how accurate all of these have been. I'm spooked personally. We've never used the Necronomicon and had this much happen that is so accurate.
No.
So back into the movie, they ride out and look for a new angle. They decide they're going to use their tarot readings to fight against these things. So get this. Remember how everything has been given out to us over like a voiceover about the readings?
Yep.
So for some reason, I forget her name. I think it's Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline.
She is kind of just like obsessed with social media, and she was recording Haley when she was giving her thing. So instead of doing a voiceover, they're watching the video that she took that night.
Which was better.
It's a better take, but it's still spelling everything out for her, right? So now the car stalls on the bridge because they mentioned having
Water under the
difficulties,
bridge.
water under the bridge, having difficulties with technology, and this reminds Madeline of her reading of The Hanged Man.
Yep.
So this is kind of a neat effect. The windows all fog up, and a gang of hangman is drawn onto one of the windows, and it spells out RUN, and there's a little image of hangman on the thing. It's cutesy. I didn't hate it.
Her tarot reading did go into something about not running away.
Yes.
And so
this pissed me off, though.
Yeah.
Literally in the same breath, almost. They're like, we need to make sure to not do exactly what our tarot readings say. Then she immediately runs.
Immediately.
Because that's one of the things I said, don't run from your issues. And she's like, bye, yoop. And she runs immediately away.
Which was what the tarot thing was doing. Okay, then this next scene. Let's talk about this next scene for a second.
Okay, let's discuss.
So it was in one of those new timey cars that it showed a picture of the car on the dashboard, and it has alerts to
it's
when
got like a
there's things
sensor
around
where
it.
things are. It's for traffic, right? To see where a car is around you if you're going to hit a kid or
This
something.
was kind of cool. So they're all sitting in the car, and there's
didn't hate
something
this.
screaming around the outside of it. I liked it. However, it didn't feel necessary.
No, it didn't add anything to it.
It felt like they had that idea and they just wanted to put it in.
Because I typically hate when you add new technology things. I don't know. I don't like seeing very modern things in my horror movies personally. I don't know why. I think it's because I don't know. I watch movies to escape from reality.
Yeah,
right?
I hate it when there's books.
I hate it when there's real things.
I hate it when there's books, modern technology of books.
Yeah, books are super duper modern. But you're absolutely right. They can hear the sounds of the creature screeching around the car. They can hear it slapping his hands all over it. What was the point of having this sensor?
It didn't make much sense. I mean, the sensor, it was cool, it was fine, but she was already out of the car running away at this point.
Yeah.
So it taunting them didn't make any sense.
No, exactly. So the hangman looks kind of like Spider-Man and Gollum had a baby.
That's hot.
It's very eerie. It's got this creepy, it mostly looks like Gollum. I only say Spider-Man because it's crawling along the rafters of this big bridge.
Gollum couldn't do that?
He carries, he probably very much could. He carries this long noosed rope with him as he pursues the fleeing Madeline. And as she runs, she gets caught around the neck by the hanging man and gets pulled away and hung dead. Yep. It's pretty brutal.
It was pretty gnarly.
You get one gruesome look at the thing and it's beady little eyes. It looks pretty scary.
Really good.
I liked his look. Again, good design. Yeah. A captivating scene that kind of takes you away from the rest of it because nothing up to this point besides the scary scenes are working for me.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So now Madeline's out. She's down for the count. So the four remaining friends try to calm themselves down, but Paxton gets pissed for some reason. I don't know what his damage is in this one scene, but he kind of turns into an asshole and then goes his own way.
It was literally just to separate him.
Yeah.
They had no other reason because they were just having a conversation about how they need to stick together and go back to the source. And he's like, no, guys, I'm going to go off on my own.
He's like, this is crazy. I'm
But that's what
here.
it said in your tarot reading. But I'm going to do it.
They're like, Tauruses are bullheaded and they make rash decisions. Like, I don't care. I'm going to go calm down over my roommate, Todd. So he leaves and he completely splits up, which is so stupid.
He was dumb.
So meanwhile, now it is Paige, Haley, and Grant all together, still the three of them. Paige was the one who booked the mansion in the first place where they found the deck. So they're like, okay, cool. Let's just book it again. Let's go find the cards and destroy them, right?
Is the mansion still available? Yep. Just booked it.
Just booked it. Haha. With Trivago. What is it? I don't know.
Travelocity?
Travelocity is another good one.
Airbnb, probably?
That works too. So they're going on their way to destroy the cards. Paxton starts getting pursued by some creepy jester, the Fool. Very good design. I did like his jestery, silly fool. He had this ceramic mask that would change and shift faces, and he was doing this weird contortionist stuff across the street from him to scare him. So Paxton gets scared and chased away into an elevator, which is an enclosed space, which is what they mentioned in it. And so there's another, remember how all these things are being voiceovered again about the original reading? They put it in the intercom of the elevator, which I thought was kind of a neat idea. Not a terrible thing, right? So he gets scared and chases him into the elevator. The Fool is just waiting for Paxton in the hall outside of the elevator, just standing there menacingly.
It just looks kind of scary.
This is one of the scenes of horror that did not necessarily work so well for me. I thought he had a really good design. I liked the way he looked, but he was kind of just playing with his food. He wasn't actually doing anything to him, just
No.
like lurking in front of the thing, changing his faces a
exactly.
bunch, contorting his body to look spooky, but not actually doing
Not actually
anything
doing
to him,
anything
not
at all.
chasing him anywhere. He was just stuck in this one elevator.
Yeah.
But then he closes the door again, and the elevator lights go red, and the fool tears in through the ceiling of the elevator, which that was kind of cool.
This was pretty good.
It's not terrible, but still. So then the fool is like about to lunge on top of Paxton. Then lights go out on Paxton, and you assume he's dead.
No, you don't.
No.
Because I have a big rule. What's my big rule?
If you don't see them die,
If you don't see their body, they aren't dead. This is like horror movie 101. Also, in his tarot reading that I wrote down at
this
the
is the
beginning of the
biggest
movie,
reason this didn't work for me.
he said, "You show up in for your friends when least expected."
Yes, because they spelled that out so much in the very beginning, there was not a moment where I thought he was actually
single
dead.
second that I thought he was dead.
No, of course not. Like, okay, so he's going to survive somehow and just come back for all of them. So the last three friends, we have Paige, Grant, and Haley. They all make their way to the mansion again. They grab the deck, no problem, right? But the cards won't burn, so they call for help. For help?
They call for hemp.
Please help. No, call for help. Ding dong, it's Alma. Remember that lady from earlier who gave us our exposition dump? She's trying to look like a badass in like this big leather trench coat. Like, you think...
No part of me thought she was bad.
I thought for a second she might actually come fuck some shit up. I was like, all right, Alma, you've been prepping for this. You've been doing the research. Like, let's get in and do it, right?
And she's like, "Let's do a tarot reading for the demon."
So they're like, let's turn the cards on her, right?
Which I got.
It's not a terrible. Let's fight fire
not
with
a
fire.
terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea. So she does tell them though that the astrologer is taking shape of all of these tarot card creatures. So it's not like they're all their own unique thing. It is the astrologer taking the form of the fool, of the hanged man, of the hermit. So she's a shapeshifter, which I thought was kind of a neat idea.
that's cool.
But that does kind of do away. So it's like that means there can only be one of them at a time.
I actually missed that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I didn't hear that until right now. I
it's
thought
a
she was
pretty-
just conjuring.
they
it all.
mentioned it
I
pretty
do,
fast.
I do like that though.
But again, it kind of sucks because then only one can be there at a time. So when there's three of them in one house, it's like they can't really all be terrified at the same time or something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, Alma wants to turn the deck against the astrologer, right? So she's doing a reading for her. Alma is immediately taken control of by the witch, the astrologer,
problem.
and instead gives herself a reading, pulling the 6 of swords. And it just made me, I literally cackled the first time I saw this. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell was the purpose of her coming in here like a badass with her years of research just to immediately get taken over
Yep.
and die?
Yeah, and then she gets stabbed by a bunch of swords. in her
Yeah,
mouth.
because the trio make a run for it, and Alma sucked backwards into darkness, then dropped in front of them with 6 swords coming out of her back, which I thought was a cool look because it looks like the card, right?
It was, but my thing with this is it's like you bring in this person who could obviously help, and then you take her out immediately. There is no part of my brain that's like, okay, these kids can handle it now.
No, yeah, exactly. Like it just makes no sense. They've made no heading on any of this. Which
Honestly,
I hate when that happens in horror movies.
I do too. And at this point, I wanted them all to just die and roll
Yes.
credits.
'Cause
That's what
the
I
thing.
wanted to happen.
Because in a horror movie, at this point, it's like if they manage to best this creature at this point, it's gonna feel very lazy and easy, like
absolutely.
way too convenient for them. Rather than like, oh, we've discovered its weaknesses along the way, we can do this, right? No, like it's just gonna. I just really dislike that a lot. So yeah, I kind of hoped maybe they would just all die and it would be like a sad kind of ending, right? But then this is the best part in the movie, personally speaking.
100%.
Paige gets separated and is led to the magician. This one takes things up a notch. She is led
It's
to
also long.
Yes, she is led to a complete like magician stage with a live audience who look awfully dead. The audience members look freaky.
They are gross.
They remind me of the people from like We Happy Few or stuff like that. Just like really like they're smiling, but it's such a dead look behind their
They're
grim
being like
faces.
forced to smile.
Yes, it's very, very spooky. But so instead of just like the creature coming into their world, she's now in their own world, right? So the magician binds her legs together with chains with just like a flick of his wrist. It's actually really cool. And so Paige like kind of shuffles her way backstage and hides inside of a crate, right?
Yeah.
But that's the trick. The crate is then brought onto stage for a magic act, and she is trapped
She's
inside
going
of
to
this
be
thing.
pulled in 2 directions.
Then the magician pulls out a gnarly looking saw and begins to just slice in random parts of the box.
Okay, this was very effective.
I
With
loved
her
this.
being in the box and the saw just like entering random places.
And it works
was
like a
really
regular,
freaky.
like a magician would be doing it, right? Just like, oh, I can poke holes anywhere in this box and she's not going to be dead, right?
Yeah.
So then he starts slicing into it. She manages to dodge all of them. Then he starts to turn a crank on the side of the box, which makes it shrink in size and get smaller. And so then he just starts going straight down the middle of the box all the way through Paige as the audience just sits there and smiles as this happens. Just like 10 out of 10.
This scene
Loved
made
it.
the movie worth watching.
It is incredible. If
This
you want to
scene
watch
alone.
anything, just watch this kill. It is
was
so good.
so good.
And then, yeah, she eventually stops screaming and he just slowly pulls the box open. You can hear the sound of her body splitting in two different directions
brutal.
with like this kind of eerie piano music playing over the top of it. Like, absolutely adored this
10 out
scene.
of 10.
That was 100% like that. That was certified horrible. That scene right there.
Absolutely.
In its entirety.
Like, I
just that.
cannot express to you how good this was. It did not feel like it belonged in this movie. Like the makeup of everybody, the random amount of people that were there at all, the music, just cinematography
The
of it.
production value that went into that one specifically was light years above any other kill in the movie.
And there were specific shots that were like her looking out of the box, like out of the peephole kind of a thing, that were just so good.
And you could see like you could see the little like the shape of a peephole in the thing. You could see the magician slowly creeping around. Like he had this really eerie physicality that I really, really adored.
And one thing to be said about that is like his makeup wasn't the scariest.
no, I liked his card version better than his like live action version.
The way it was acted, it's proof in the pudding that the performance is just as important as the design.
I mean, think about it. Think
Just
about
as
some
important.
great creature actors like, Javier Botet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Doug Jones, like they, it is such a part of it. It doesn't just take good creature design. The way you perform them also heavily influences that. So very, very good. Love that scene to bits. So now Grant and Haley are all that are left right now, right? The bickering couple. And after a very dragging conversation about like their relationship and how Haley was like, "Oh, we're doomed from the start. I pulled our cards and it said death was only in there for us." Like, was it just me? That scene like pulled me out of it and dragged.
absolutely.
Especially after such a kick-ass scene.
That was the peak. The
Yeah,
magician moment
absolutely
was
the
the peak.
peak.
Everything out of the movie, I was literally struggling to stay awake.
So after a dragging conversation, Grant just gets yoinked suddenly out of a window by the devil, which was his card, right? It was just like funny how quick it happened. Like, what is going on right now? just to pull us out of that moment, I guess. I thought it was pretty funny. So now the astrologer takes the form of Death, which was Haley's card. It's this decrepit corpse with this wispy hair and sunken everything, really, not even just eye sockets. Didn't really work for me as much,
was
though.
not.
It's another one where, like, I thought it looked really good on the tarot deck, the card itself, like the design worked out, but when brought into the real world, seeing that creature walking around inside of a house didn't really affect me
didn't
that
really do
much.
anything for
They
me.
tried, but it didn't really do much for me. So then Haley gets held against a wall in a chokehold by Death, and then Grant comes in and saves the day, just like bashing it over the head, going toe-to-toe with the astrologer while Haley tries to do a reading for her, right? And Grant gets knocked down to the floor pretty much immediately, right? Again, kind of a funny moment where it's like, all right, it's you and me, Death. I'm going to take you on. Bam, he's already on the ground. And so this part also I really did enjoy. He starts getting dragged into some like woodsy hell portal. There's like brambles in front of
That
like
was
this,
really
this, this
dope.
orange bright fire. Like it actually looked like really, really good. Which I was not expecting.
This part looked really sick.
Yeah, so he starts getting pulled into there. Meanwhile, Haley gets all the cards together. She starts reading the astrologer's horoscope and attempts to like heal her with words. She's like, "You don't have to do this. What happened to you was terrible, but like hurting others isn't going to solve the problem." And so the solution is just like to put this witch into therapy by force.
Yep.
let's just bring her into
therapy.
Forceful therapy. It works. No, don't do that. So in the reading for the astrologer, Haley pulled the death card and it's all over now. So runes start to set ablaze in the middle of the floor because now it is Haley and the astrologer standing in the middle of like this rune circle that was just like sketched into the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was there before or if Alma did that when she was trying to do her reading.
It was there before.
It must have been there
Well,
before,
no,
right?
like Alma made it.
Yeah, that's what. So Alma is the one that did
Yeah,
that, right? To
sorry.
do the reading.
Alma made it,
Gotcha. So now all of the runes that were carved into the floor start to set ablaze.
It just like kind of showed her doing it.
Yes. And then a twister forms in the middle of this house and the astrologer gets whipped up into dust. I'm a practical effects guy. The CGI in this bit ain't bad.
It wasn't bad at
It
all.
wasn't
It was
terrible.
pretty good.
And maybe it's because it was a very darkly lit scene, so there's a lot you can hide in
Also,
something like that.
it reminded me a lot of the end scene in that movie Fear that we watched like 60 episodes ago.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh God.
But like it was basically the exact same scene.
Yep.
but done worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was like way more effective.
This is the better version of that kind of scene, right? I actually I liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
So then, the witch is like whipped up into dust. She's gone now. Then the tarot cards all start to fall down to the ground, burning away to ashes. Yep. Ours didn't burn to ash, so I think we're okay. I think we're safe.
Well, yeah.
So now the couple, Grant and Haley, start to walk their way back to town. There's a long road ahead of them. They're like, how much longer to town? Oh, another couple of miles. And they start to slowly lumber after quite an eventful night.
Why are they walking?
Yeah.
It still upsets me.
They drove a car to this house.
Also, they never find their friend.
No.
They just assume their friend is dead.
The only reason that I can give them for walking is maybe Paige had the keys to the car and when she died had the keys with her. But like they never dictate any of that kind of stuff,
like,
right?
why are we thinking about that?
No.
I hate it when things happen like this in movies
I'm
because
forced
it makes
to
me
pull,
think about
right?
it, right? And then you stop thinking about the movie,
Yes.
and you start thinking about things like her car keys.
Mhm.
I don't want to think about her car keys right
exactly. I'm trying to watch a movie right now. But so they start to walk down the road, but not before a car pulls up to them on this dark
now.
road.
Oh no!
Oh, it's ominous.
The astrologers are driving a car.
And
maybe.
I think Grant even mentions like, oh no, my tarot reading mentioned a dark, long road, right? But it's just fucking Paxton. He survived, and now he'll give them a ride back to town. Truly just like this happy Disney Channel ending for all who, ended up surviving. And then that's it. Roll credits, right, Derek? That's all.
I was so pissed.
What happens next?
Well, it rolled credits.
It rolled
and then
credits.
it goes back, and they're like, "Wait, how did you survive?" Paxton?
Literally, it's playing music for the credits, and there's a record scratch that happens in the music.
Wait, what happened, Paxton? Oh, I was sitting in the elevator, and then my roommate opened the elevator, and he went away, and then I was okay, and I came and saved you.
Like, I really didn't need to know how he survived the encounter, but that is so much lamer than it could have been.
I was so pissed that I didn't know, and then I was more pissed when I knew.
Literally, as the credits started rolling, Derek was like, so we're just not going to discuss how he survived, and then that post like 5-second credits bit roll.
I have never been more upset about an ending of a movie.
Just piss me off.
Fucking imply to me that he was like mid-death and then like his roommate opened the door and he left is the stupidest bullshit
It's
I've ever heard.
ridiculous. It was absolutely
the only
worst.
thing I can think of.
Yes.
And again,
you're reaching now. They did a bad
he
job.
was getting attacked while she was dying, but that doesn't make any sense
No.
because she can only be in one place at once.
Exactly.
So explain that, atheist.
Explain that, atheist. Explain to us how a shape-shifting astrologer witch I don't fucking know. God.
I'm done. Let's talk about our expectations.
I'm done. Let's go to our expectations. So I said Ned from Spider-Man Paxton is going to take me out of it. And I'm sure he tried his best, but he was just giving a Disney Marvel performance in this movie, struggling to be horror. In every scene he was in, I was pulled out. He could not bring me to that place.
Do you think like when he was on set, everyone he talked to, he was like, hey, so Tom Holland and me.
Yeah, so this one time I hung out with Tom Holland.
So me and Tom Holland. Yeah, so I was talking to Robert Downey Jr. the other day. And
hang on, I got to take this call.
Oh, it's Ben Cum. Hey, what's up, Ben Cum?
Sorry, that's what I call him. We're buddies.
We're buddies. We Ben
What's
Cum.
up, Cummy Bummy?
Yeah, Ben.
Sorry. I'm sorry, world. I'm sorry to everyone.
Cummy Bummy?
Shut up. Don't say it again. If you say his name one more time, he'll show up.
Doctor Strange. It's so strange that you're Cummy Bummy.
God damn it.
What?
Oh my god.
That's
funny
shit.
I didn't like it.
I've said his name a lot of different ways. Cummy Bummy is the
I literally never said that until right now.
peak.
What's your expectation, Derek?
Cool creatures, bad use of.
That's fair. That's real. And
like 70% of these were used well. We talked a little bit about death. I feel like death wasn't really like great.
Especially
like representation.
It felt like it was supposed to be like the penultimate, like this is the
Yeah.
big one, and
also the devil was kind of cool looking, but I didn't see him enough. He
Yeah.
just disappeared.
we didn't really mention that because he kind of came in and then like went away into the shadows, and then he became death. So like we didn't get to see a lot of the devil.
Yeah.
The design looked good though. It's just like the typical goat man with horns kind of design that you know and love. I said the best part will be the creature designs. Really, the only good parts were the sequences involving the different creature designs. None of the rest of the movie fit how off-putting and creepy these were, So thank you, Trevor Henderson. Sorry these two things did not line up super well.
Yeah, I hope he gets more work.
Yes, please, after this. I hope this does not
this
stop work
movie
for you.
like quadrupled its budget.
I mean, so I guess it is considered successful.
He's going to get some money.
Can you imagine Tarot 2?
Tarot.
Two Tarot 2.
And
Two
it's
Tarot
just
2-0?
T-O. Wait. T-A-2. A.
Yeah.
OT.
We'll come up with it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get our
Rough
designers
attempt
up in the
to
mix.
get us to care about the characters. Oh my God, yes. It's Elise's birthday. We're in love.
It's Elise-
Oh no, our relationship is falling apart. Oh, we have a best friend who likes to
my
run away from a
mom
problem.
died and I couldn't
my
stop
mom died.
fate.
Also, one thing we didn't even talk about that I still to this day completely missed was it Elise and Madeline were in a relationship.
Yep.
And Madeline was like inconsolable when Elise died, and I was like, why is she so much more sad than everyone? And Isaac's like, they were dating. I'm like, what?
The only
When did
reason
that even happen?
Well, one, I knew that because I've seen it twice, right? But two, it's because at the very opening scene where they were all around the campfire, they were like cuddling up on a log.
Friends cuddle.
Exactly,
I've seen
right?
it happen.
They did not give us enough to decide that they were a couple
Why are
until she
people
was inconsolable.
So you're either Hollywood is either terrified to show like LGBTQIA relationships or super excited about it.
Yes.
There is no middle ground. Why can't we just normalize
Why
it?
can't it just be a
Why isn't
normal
it just
thing?
normal? It's normal in real life. High horse, come here. Beep, beep, beep. Why isn't it just normal? People are gay. It's okay.
It's great.
It's life.
Gay, Yay, go gay? Is that what
Okay,
that?
yay,
what
be
movie
gay.
was that we watched? Someone
Okay.
said, "Yay, go gay." I
I
can't
don't
remember what
remember. It was stupid. It really bothers me how like little it was shown.
It kind of just felt like bait, right? Just
It
be like,
did.
"Hey guys, look at our nice movie. We have LGBTQ representation in this." You
and
know,
I mean, I think maybe. Sorry, I screamed. I think maybe they were trying to normalize it.
yes.
But in doing it in such a way that just made them seem like friends,
Yes.
and then expecting us to feel sadness over the loss
They're
of
like,
their
no, you
girlfriend,
saw those two characters were in love, right? You saw them cuddling on a log
didn't-
together. Isn't that enough?
It's 2024,
Yes.
y'all. Let's embrace love.
Yes, please.
Thank
love,
you.
love is love. Embrace love.
High
Yay,
horse.
go gay. High horse. I said it will struggle to balance between horror and comedy, and this balance was so out of whack that it felt like I was going in between two different movies that happened to share the same characters. Like it was such a jarring shift when something spooky would happen and work really well in comparison to the rest of the movie. So yeah, my problem with it is that the horror rocked when it was utilized.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
I really enjoyed some of those sequences, but God, the rest of the movie just did not work for me.
Yeah, for sure. Very teen bait movie style. Absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about this whole time. All the tropes were there. There were tons of jump scares. That's something we didn't even talk about. There were also 4 kills in this movie. Not that it really matters.
No.
But 5. Sorry, 5 deaths.
Yes.
Unless you include this astrologer, then 6.
Yeah.
So very teen bait,
Yes.
right? Like everything was there. The romance, the forced romances, and jump scares. Cool creatures, which is
Yeah.
like one thing I struggle with because it's like, okay, there are cool creatures in these teen baity movies.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I remember after walking out of the theater the first time I saw it, we were all kind of discussing it. And one of the guys I saw it with was kind of like, I mean, I got out of it what I go to a horror movie for, right? Like, it had the spooks, it had cool creature designs, it had cheesy dialogue. Like, isn't that what we're here for? And I'm like,
I mean, yeah.
I suppose in a sense, yeah, it's got all those things.
This is it. It's like in a subgenre of horror movie.
Yes. Absolutely. I said lazy writing, and the dialogue was painful to listen to.
bad.
And everything was just incredibly convenient. And I dislike that they spell out the entire movie beat for beat right at the top.
Oh, yeah.
There's no mystery, no tension, no intrigue. You know exactly how things are going to play out right at the top of the movie, right? And it just kind of
then
hurts.
it happened.
It really does. It hurt the movie for sure.
Absolutely. Wanna be Final Destination? Definitely, man. This movie
100%.
wanted so bad to be Final Destination, and you could tell that by the way they kept splitting up, by the way they kept trying to be alone, by the way their relationships were forced.
Exactly, and spelling out every kill like it was supposed to.
Spelling out the kills.
Not in the way that it is exciting, because we've watched a Final Destination for the podcast, and even then it was
That movie was
exciting to
great.
see those,
I
right?
loved Final
I think
Destination.
it's fun, but it didn't even feel like a decent, like that one reviewer said, it's not even a decent homage to something like
it's
Final
not.
Destination.
It felt like someone put Final Destination through a language translator and then put it through AI.
Yes.
And then added tarot and threw it through AI again.
Yep,
right?
that's exactly
how
what
distant
it is. So far from the source. My final expectation was just probably insensitive to tarot, and honestly, I don't know enough about tarot to say much here, but I really did hate Haley's one line about not using someone else's deck and then immediately doing it anyway. Like, what
And
was the
setting
point?
in course the entire movie.
What was the point of knowing that rule just to break it, just so they could get away with saying, we know how tarot works?
We get it.
I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do.
I promise.
What's-
I promise we get it.
What's your
I
last
promise.
expectation?
One of the worst scripts in recent years. I mean, we've talked about it. I can't even begin to keep going. anything.
No.
I tried to find the script for it, but I gave up because it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to do with some of these newer movies. There's not a lot at our disposal.
Yeah, I'll just start
immediately.
writing down every single line when we see.
Yeah,
the
because
next movie.
this movie hasn't even been out for like 2 weeks, like 3 weeks yet. I don't know.
No.
It's like out of theaters at this point. So surprises for me. First surprise was how insufferable this movie could be at times, and the horror sequence worked though. Like it's crazy. Like despite that, so like they really worked for me. Especially God, the magician sequence, easily my top of all of the tarot creatures. Right?
I mean, that's one of my top horror scenes in recent years.
Really though, like it was super effective. So like I was surprised by like just how much I disliked the rest of the movie, how much those scenes really worked for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the designs looked incredible as their tarot drawings, right? But when translated to the real world, they weren't translated well enough. Namely, the looks of Death and the Magician weren't quite as terrifying as their card version. So like while the Magician was my favorite scene, I do wish his physical actual design looked more like his card design did. Because in the card he had like more of like this grinning, gross smile that like it looked like he was wearing a mask of his own fleshy face over it. And he was mostly in the dark for his sequence, and I guess maybe that's to blame for it. But like I didn't really love the way he turned out in like the live action adaptation of him, I guess.
I get it.
Not a surprise, but wonderful work by Trevor Henderson. Props to you. You made some incredible creature designs and I loved them. And then my last surprise said I didn't hate watching it a second time. I could actually see a sequel coming around with different tarot cards, though I doubt that will come around, but I don't know.
I don't know.
When I wrote
wouldn't
that
be
note,
surprised.
I didn't know how much money it made.
It has made a lot
so
of
I
money.
could definitely see Tarot 2 being a thing that happens. And honestly, I would go see it.
I would too. And to bounce off that with something like The Nun, right? That the first movie wasn't great, but I liked the second one a lot.
Yes.
So like, hey, maybe that could happen here.
I mean, you hope that happens, right? When they make a sequel, it's like hopefully you've
Blood and
taken
Honey.
notes from the first one and know how to do better this time,
we
right?
haven't seen Blood and Honey 2 yet, but from
When
what
are we gonna? God damn,
I don't know.
We gotta get on that
I
one.
literally can't watch it. I've tried.
Oh man.
But yeah,
We'll get around to that. So yeah, what are your surprises?
the magician scene. I mean, we've talked about it enough. It was just incredible.
It was incredible.
How actually scary some of the scenes
Yes.
were. Like specifically the hallway with the lantern guy, and even like everyone's been alone in a house with like sounds, right? So the very first kill with the ladder, like there were some effective bits about that. How bland and stupid the story was.
Lord, yes.
Like I just could not believe it. The bits about the like tarot background were really good, but everything else was so forgettable.
Yes.
How adjacent to a good movie this was.
Right?
Like it was like the younger stepbrother of a cousin of a good movie. And and it feels sad because like one side of those genes was really good horror.
Yes.
And the other side of those genes were bland, broken, sad.
Yep.
End of paragraph. Anyway.
So that's all your surprises.
Yeah,
So is it verdict time?
It's Verdeck.
So for me, I'm going to go with one that I've used before. I'm going to say that was potentialable. There's a reason that I say I would go see a sequel of this movie, because maybe that's in the hopes that they take what works in this movie and run with that instead. So like this movie had the two-dimensional low stakes feeling of like a Disney movie special on Disney Channel, but then hit you so hard with a stark shift into some actually haunting horror scenes with many wonderful creatures. Unfortunately, none of these great sequences were enough to raise this movie out from the grave that it dug itself. So, but the horror bits worked, and that is what I want to leave this one with, right? So, like the horror bits worked, and pretty much everything else did not.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm like, it is potentialable. It had some really great sequences, but not enough to make it a good movie.
For sure. So actually, my score before we started this episode was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
no joke. I made that pun, and then Derek showed me the note where he's like, "Oh, brother, my brother in Christ, I have already made that pun."
And I just did that one as a joke. Really, my score would be like, that was halfable. Tarot is a movie split in two. On one side of the fence, you have a great scary movie with some cool kills and a fun gimmick. On the other side of the fence, you have really boring characters with stale dialogue, no common sense. Unfortunately, the latter half bleeds too much into the good parts. Too much for this to be watchable. Do yourself a favor and just watch the haunting kill scenes and forget about this one. That is until your next horror reading.
Ooh, very good, Derek, very good. It is me, blah, blah,
Hold on. We're doing a gimmick today.
I gotta get through my name, the count trivia.
Oh, right. People don't know who you
Sorry, it's in my blood.
Draw a card.
Oh my, okay. Here we go.
Science Jim did it, so
I can do it. No, I can do it. You can't. I can't do it if you're dropping all the cards, Derek. You need to help me out here. I will pick a card. I can do it. I promise. Don't. If Jim did it, then I can do it. All right, so I pulled what is this, the Knight of Cups? Does that mean I'm going to get drinky winky on my Saturday night? I'll take a Blood Light. I've already made that joke, haven't I? It's not that great.
Okay. Was it upside down or right or right side up?
It was right side up, yes.
Okay. You have compassion, control, and balance.
Well, I take that very kindly. I do my job and I
don't know.
worked very hard.
I think yours might have been upside down because if it had, you would have had coldness, moodiness, and bad advice.
You know what? I got some advice for you. Why don't you fuck off, Derek?
Yeah, I think you pulled that one upside down, my guy. Because technically,
I'm not to take this.
No.
Oh, you wouldn't fight now.
You pulled it like this, which would have flipped it up like that, which would have been upside down.
Oh, he's Johnny Gravity over here. He knows the direction of
It's
everything
Jim
now.
Gravity, thank you.
More like Grim Gravity, huh? I'm gonna fly away now.
Bing. Did he give you the trivia before he left, or
I took it out of his pocket because I didn't think he was going to.
he probably liked it?
So let's take trivia. Guys, this movie just barely came out, so there was really, honestly, no trivia for this. I went to my usual sources for trivia. All I could get was the title card appears nearly 17 minutes into the runtime.
Checks out.
Because that is true. Literally, we don't see the word tarot until after they do all of their tarot readings. Like, you think it's going to be one of those where maybe the title's at the very end of the movie, because that happens a lot, but that is the only time. So, instead, I did a little bit of research into Trevor Henderson because he recently posted a couple of concept art designs for them, which are actually super cool
They're
to look at.
super cool. Go check him on Instagram.
So
They're cool.
go check him. Just look up Trevor Henderson. He does really, really cool work. So Trevor Henderson was the sole designer of his creatures. It was not him and a team of a couple people. He was the one person who had like complete say and control. Well, maybe not say of them. Like, I'm sure production teams and stuff say maybe more like this and a bit like that, right? But he was the designer for these creatures, which I thought was really cool. There were 8 total, right? Designs for the Fool debated having him remove his mask, revealing this disturbing, like, fleshy hole in the middle of his face. I thought it was kind of cool.
Super dope.
And there were some earlier concepts that went with more of like a wooden puppet look, kind of Pinocchio style.
Cool.
I like where we ended up, but it's like really cool to see like what could have been like behind the scenes. Like, you could still believe that behind that mask there's that hole of a face, right? Which I think would have looked super cool. Even what would have been really cool is like if maybe Paxton tried to fight it and he smashes the porcelain mask and that's what's underneath it. Like, that would have been really cool.
That is really cool.
It's fine. You know, I should just write a movie or something. First designs for the Hanged Man involved a noose made out of their own guts spilling out of a gash in their stomach.
Good.
That's pretty gnarly.
That's super gnarly.
And even one that looked not unlike Slender Man and like this black suit, but hanging upside down with this long noosed rope for a head.
Yeah.
Kind of cool designs. I'm not against them. And then the only other one I have is the design for the Death Creature was locked in really early. It just became a matter of like making sure the details are right. But like beyond that, Death was like right out the gate. It's like, this is what it's going to look like.
Good.
So it didn't go through like other iterations and stuff like that. So that was tarot, guys. Woo.
Yeah. Do you want to give me my horror scope?
Yeah, absolutely. What's your oh yeah. I forget that we do a Garfield horror scope on this podcast here. So welcome back to the Garfield horoscope. Bow, bow. So this week's Garfield horoscope, we see an empty bowl of food in a food bowl that says Garfield. Odie, little mischievous little Odie, which is, I'll say, kind of out of character for him. He's not like this. He's a very sweet, loving, heartwarming kind of character.
Oh, man, you see behind those dark eyes.
And in this one, you really see an image of that. He steals Garfield's food. Gulp, chomp, chomp, gulp. The food's gone. Walks up to Garfield, barks in his face. What's up? What's so funny, Derek?
It's a really fucking good comic.
Derek's just cracking up over Garfield this
great.
week.
I need everyone right now, unless you're driving, to go and look at the Garfield comic from May 19th, 2024. The last panel of this is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I've never seen Garfield in such a state because Odie goes and barks in his face. It looks almost like a burp, more like. And then John comes up and he's like, dog breath. And in Garfield's thought bubble, tuna dog breath. And how would you describe how he looks right now? He looks like a Picasso painting. He's got one eye larger than the other. All of his teeth are bared. He looks all wonky. If I had to give him a sound, it'd be... Derek's laughing, chuckling up over here.
It's the funniest shit.
Oh, my God. Derek, pull a card for Garfield right now.
Okay. We got death.
Oh, no! Death for Garfield?
And it was right side up. It was right side up.
It was a right side up Garfield? Or right. Can we make a tarot deck?
Oh my God!
Garfield?
Wait, end of cycle, beginnings, change, metamorphosis. He's turning into Chris Pratt.
Something is happening to Garfield.
No, that's actually kind of terrifying. That was
dislike
very
that.
real. I was shuffling the deck when I drew that.
It is too real. It is too true to the world. So that's your Garfield horoscope, I guess. We didn't even really get into it.
No, we don't
it's
need
just
to.
funny.
It's the funniest shit I've
Oh
ever
my
seen.
god! So
Turned himself into a Garfield.
now, Derek, here we are right now. We're at
Strangers.
a crossroad. You want to go? You want to do Strangers?
We got to go see the Strangers.
We got to go see the Strangers, right? Because it's sitting 14%.
I watched.
guys.
I watched Jeremy John's review of it and said I got to see this shitty movie. So.
Have you seen the original Strangers?
No.
I have not. I think sometime before we see this, I want to watch that.
Okay,
one.
maybe I will too.
Yeah, so just to kind of catch up, because what I've heard basically says it is like a beat for beat remake of it, but it is also a prequel at the same time,
I've heard that as well,
and just like doesn't do any of it justice.
and apparently has a pretty big cliffhanger.
really,
Well, yeah, it's
interesting.
chapter 1.
Do you want to read the synopsis
After
of
their
this?
car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple are forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by 3 masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive in The Strangers, Chapter 1. The chilling first entry of this upcoming horror feature film series.
This is one of 3 movies they are intending to release right now, and I don't know how we're gonna do after this one did so poorly.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, it depends on how much it sells.
What are we sitting at right now? You got some.
It's already made $4 million.
Well,
it had a budget of
so,
8.5 million and has made 12 million.
We will see. What is it? Is it The Exorcist currently that is eyeing Mike Flanagan to take? But it could take that route, right? Where it's like, okay, we bombed that first one. Let's get somebody who knows their shit. You good?
I love Mike Flanagan.
He's
my
great.
favorite
We
director.
love Mike Flanagan here. We love
And he is
support Mike
apparently
Flanagan.
being eyed for the next Exorcist movie, and I will cry.
Because-
I will piss my pants with my eyes if he does that.
Because I mean, we watched The Exorcist, the latest one, and that shit.
I'm gonna draw a tarot
sucked.
card for
That
Mike
shit
Flanagan.
Sucked. What's Mike Flanagan's tarot?
He got the Knight of Cups again.
The Knight of Cups.
Wait, why did I draw the same card?
I mean, you said it could happen again.
I also closed out of my thing.
Oh,
so
okay.
Just like rewind in the episode to remember what the...
The Knight of Cups is blah 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 blah.
That was good. That was good.
Thanks for joining us again here on
Yeah,
That Was
thank you.
Horrible. It's been great having you. It's been fun to do this again. We recorded this. There's a new dog in the house.
There's a new dog in the house.
And so there's a lot of barking going on
Yeah.
that you probably heard throughout the thing. So sorry about that.
But yeah,
Derek took a work trip, and so we actually recorded a week even earlier than we do.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 weeks since
It
we
has.
recorded an episode, so it's fun to be here.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having us back.
Thanks so much. Please, if you feel so inclined, support us wherever you can. Follow us. We've got all the social medias. We're on Instagram at @that_was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, and TikTok at That Was Horrible. TikTok. Yeah, so that's what's going to happen in the future, actually. Twitter is not going to be X anymore because that's stupid. And they're going to merge with TikTok to save it from the clutches of the government who's trying to shut it down right now, I guess.
We call it X-Talk.
X-Talk. Call it X-Talk.
Anyway,
So that's
we'll
us.
see you next time. We're going to go watch The Strangers. Maybe go check it out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll
Yeah,
talk about
check it out. Just think about it while we're talking about it. As always, Garfield be with you. And stay spooky.
Goodbye.